These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, August 9th. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. The Olympics are going on today, they were yesterday as you're listening to this, but we're not going to cover that in this video because we're recording this on Friday, so we'll have another video tomorrow checking in to see if Team USA won gold or not. Spoiler alert, they probably did, but who am I to tell you what happened in that French game?
I hope they
I
lost.
haven't watched it yet, but how you doing, Sam?
I'm doing okay. I'm getting sick and tired of all the, Tatum blaming, or slander, whatever, making fun of him. I'm sick of all the negativity that has come out of this Olympic run for the Celtics. So, rooting against Team USA. Go France.
Sure. I guess. Go France if you'd like.
We do have a good show today planned, though. We're going to talk about some adjacent news to the Olympics. Payton Pritchard had some things to say. We also have a little bit of Steve Kerr on the stand defending his decisions. I'm sure Jack will have a lot to say to him. Brad Stevens has spoken. Grant Hill has spoken on Jaylen. We have our date for the first Celtics game of the season. And then we have some around the league stuff in the rat list. So stick around for all of it. We'll be here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, hit the bell. We appreciate you very much.
Yes, let's start with Payton Pritchard. Payton Pritchard was recently on the Point Forward podcast with Evan Turner and Andre Iguodala. Iguodala wasn't on the show. I think it was just Turner and Pritchard for this one. Talked about a few different things. Talked about Jayson and Jalen, but also talked about the leap he potentially wants to take next year. He said, obviously, I'm already working this summer. I'm trying to make a jump. I think for me, I've always been the person that's never been a goal setter trying to win these awards or anything like that because it's out of my control. For me, if I can make a jump in certain areas offensively and become even more efficient in different parts of the game, my coaches have talked about it, being able to shoot off the dribble at a higher clip, like step backs and stuff. So he kind of just wants to expand his offensive arsenal. And I think we've kind of seen Pritchard already doing some of that. Like he just doesn't necessarily get the opportunity to as much. Yeah, but I think putting the ball in Pritchard's hands a little bit more outside of garbage time could be a good thing for the future of the Celtics. And I think as Jrue Holiday inevitably has to take a little bit more rest, you're going to have to rely on Pritchard to get more minutes. And so I'm confident in Pritchard's offensive abilities. I think the defense is what it is. I don't think he's a great defender, but I think he scraps and he's good enough where you can get by with him in a lineup. Like you don't have to worry too much. Like he's going to get targeted, but he holds his own. So I'd like to see him get a little bit more responsibility in the rotation next year. I think he's earned that.
Yeah, I mean, Pritchard has been a trusted individual in Joe Mazzulla's system, I think, since the jump. Like, he got some spot minutes in 2023 playoffs, but even when Udoka was the coach, like, Pritchard was someone who clearly had the trust of the coaching staff. They put him out there for Game 2 in 2022 against the Brooklyn Nets. He played some minutes in the Heat series. And then over the years, he's grown into even more of a role. He had some extremely heavy momentum swinging shots in this playoff run where in Cleveland, he had a logo three that kind of stunted a Cavs run back into the game. Of course, everyone remembers the shots that he heaved up from half court in the finals. He's just somebody who isn't afraid of the moment. And by giving him more opportunities to work and expand his game within your system, you're going to open the door for a confident guy to have opportunities to show up in massive spots. And that's going to be big going forward. Now, do we think he's completely there yet? Probably not, because in the one opportunity we saw Payton Pritchard get to actually be the clutch time guy, the Celtics gave up a massive run to the Sacramento Kings at TD Garden in April, and Xavier Tillman bailed everybody out, making the only game winner for the Celtics this entire season. But Payton Pritchard was given the responsibility to kind of drive the car or land the plane in that situation, and he fell asleep in the cockpit.
Well, I don't want Payton Pritchard to be the fucking 1A. That's just stupid. Like, I'm saying I think if he could be like a sixth man rather than a seventh man who doesn't play some games, like if he can get 25 minutes a night rather than the 18 or 20 he got. Like, Payton Pritchard's never going to be what our chat thought they wanted him to be for half the season. Like, what Payton Pritchard can do better is handle the ball a little bit more while the stars are in the game. Help set up Tatum and Brown for a couple easier looks. Take a few more threes, that aren't just straight up catch and shoot shots. Like that's the way Pritchard's going to improve. He's never going to be put in a spot where he is leading an offense in clutch time in a real game. Like that's not who he is, what he's going to be, or what the Celtics want him to be, which is fine. Like he's just a really good role player, and I think expanding that part of his game is going to be important.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be able to come in off the bench and have like takeover moments, like I think we saw a good example of that this year against Milwaukee after Pat Bev too small Luke Cornett and Payton Pritchard took offense to that and then went off and had like 13 points in the second quarter and was on every loose ball and had the Garden buzzing. I think that's what we're all hoping he can become on a consistent basis, or at least be used on a consistent basis. Like he is just more of a catch and shoot guy right now. He definitely has the ability to knock down the catch and shoot threes, to be a safety valve for the guys handling the ball, getting inside. They can rely on him to sink the shot when they kick it out. But if he is given the opportunity to create a little bit more, I think it'll be a positive for the Celtics because it will take some of the burden off those guys' shoulders. I think you kind of reeled it in properly. Like, I'm not looking for him to be the 1A. No, I don't think he should be the guy with the ball in clutch time. But I think there are certain situations, maybe in the clutch moments sprinkled throughout the game, that he can be effective.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with Pritchard taking some big shots here and there. Clearly, he should have it at the end of the quarters and stuff as well. So we'll give him those chances. He also talked about JB and being left off Team USA. He said, I know certain people are like, it's undercutting a teammate. This is about his JB's tweet, after the announcement was made about D White. But I was kind of like, hey, man, let him speak his piece. I think, yeah, let him speak. I don't think Derek felt any type of way at all. I think we're brothers at the end of the day. When I saw it, not even having the consideration of putting him on was confusing to me. I think Jalen is a top-level player. He fits everything they need. He can defend, play any role. I think Jalen would accept that. People sometimes have this version of him that he's a difficult teammate or a difficult dude, which is not the case at all. I love Jalen to death, and I got so much respect for him, the type of person he is. So just sort of shutting down those narratives. Then he also talked about the Jayson Tatum thing. Let's see. Oh, yeah. He basically said, now you got to show people again because they're doubting. I'm looking forward to seeing JT proving them wrong, basically like using Team USA as motivation and stuff. So basically talking about the two ways that Celtics two stars have been, I guess you could say, disrespected this summer, which is kind of crazy considering they just won a title. But Pritchard's ready to come to their defense, so it's fine.
Any avenue people get, they will fire shots at the Celtics, especially the guys at the top. They do not like them. It would be a real shame if Jayson Tatum won an MVP this year, if he came out and played MVP ball. Do I think that he's going to do that? Probably not.
I really don't want him to do that.
Yeah, the team is good enough where have to do that. But it would be cool if he played so well within reason. Like the efficiency was really high and he was clearly just impacting games and like having the, I don't want to say superpower because I don't think that's the right way to say it, but like being somebody that people truly fear.
I think Tatum could average 30, 10, and 5 on a 60-win Celtics team and still not win MVP.
Why would you say that? Just because of the different talent around the league?
Because I think Luka would put up better stats on a 50-win Mavs team and win it over him, and I think Jokic would put up better, like a close to triple-double on a 54-win Nuggets team and win it over him. Because they're just going to say he's got a better team. Doesn't matter.
Well, people love to move the goalposts now, don't they?
I think, like I said, you could average 30, 10, and 5 on 50, 40, 90 splits, would still not win MVP.
You never know. We've been waiting for years now, and it just seems like he missed the sliding doors. Like there was a very small window for him to do it.
I think there will be another window, and I think the window is when Al, KP, and Drew retire or are.
So when they're not very good.
No,
when
I still think
lose some of their supporting cast.
I still think they will be very good. I don't think they'll be 64 win good, but I think they'll be 55 win good, and I think he'll have better stats because there's going to be he'll need to. And I think that's where he wins.
And it could be more of an angle where people are like, oh shit, like he's the one like backpacking the whole team. Like
Yeah,
they need
which is
him
the
to
angle
carry.
people are obsessed with now, which is
They love
stupid.
that. They
But-
love that with Luka. He's their favorite guy.
Mhm. Speaking of Jayson Tatum, however, Steve Kerr talked to Adam Himmelsbach after the game and gave his reasoning once again as to why Jayson Tatum didn't play against Serbia. He said, "It's not what I'm not seeing from Jayson. It's what I've seen from the other guys. Like I've said many times during this tournament in the last 6 weeks, it's hard to play 11 people, even in an NBA game. Our second unit was not great last night, but that group has been one of the bright spots on this team, especially on the defensive end. So it's not about what Jayson is doing or not doing. It's about the combinations and the way the group has played together. The way Kevin Durant has filled in since he came back from his injury. It's just a math problem more than anything." So you're going back to the I can't play 11 guys in a game after you've already played 11 guys in a game multiple times in the Olympics.
Is that what he's saying?
He said it's hard to play 11 people even in an NBA
Okay.
game. You have played that many times already. You've done it. You've already done that like 3-4 times out of your 6 games. So you can't use that anymore. Saying our second unit wasn't great last night, but that's been one of our bright spots is basically just saying, yeah, they were bad, but I'm going to stick with them anyways, which is just not how basketball games should work, especially when you have all stars on your bench. And then saying, especially on the defensive end, when you're getting killed from 3 and out rebounded, clearly wasn't working as well. Steve Kerr's an idiot, man. Like, I respect the hell out of him as a coach in terms of like being able to put stars together and keep guys cohesive, because like he absolutely had a big impact on those Stephen Curry, Draymond, Clay teams. Like you need to have a good coach, especially when KD came in, to keep all the stars in line, to keep everybody on the same page and all that stuff. And he is great at that. But holy shit, I get why Warriors fans hate his in-game adjustments, because they don't exist. I'm going to stick with my preconceived notions and my predetermined game plans no matter what is happening on the court, and I'm going to live and die by them. And he almost had one of the greatest assembled Team USA teams ever die on the court because he refused to make in-game adjustments, and he got bailed out by Steph Curry and LeBron James. Period. That's it.
So the problem with this is that they were so obviously drowning and he didn't throw them a fucking life vest.
Correct.
Life vest being Jayson Tatum. But I do
or Bam,
think that
or Davis, or literally anybody. I don't like people are just
Bam
gonna make
played.
this about Tatum. Yeah, he played 10 minutes, and you're gonna play Anthony Edwards and everybody else. Like it was
they
stupid.
play
It
different
was stupid.
positions.
I don't care. Play a bigger lineup. Don't play 3 guards. What the fuck? Don't play, you're getting killed because of your length and inability to close out and not being able to contest inside and rebound. And you're playing 3 6'5" and below guards, 2 of whom are bad on defense. Stupid.
I think of the big guys, the only one that works as a forward is Anthony Davis. I don't really think that Bam works as a forward. I don't think that Embiid works as a forward.
Why? Bam absolutely works as a forward.
Bam just doesn't have like the kind of consistency from beyond the arc that you need from a 4-man. Otherwise, it feels like you're going to be clogging the paint.
He can guard 5 positions, and he shot the ball like
I'm not talking
40%.
about defense.
And guarded the ball like 40% in the Olympics. Defense was the problem against Serbia. They shot 50% in from field and from 3 in the first half. You're dying. You're drowning.
I just still think the offense doesn't have that same efficiency if you have him in there. Like that's part of the reasoning for it.
But it didn't have the efficiency with Ant either.
You
Ant
just said it had 50% from both.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Team USA.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about they should have played Bam more because he would have helped defend Serbia better. And then you said
I
you
said
were talking
they can't
about
have
how he's
Bam
not a
out
good
there
offensive
because
fit.
he doesn't work as an offensive 4. And then you
Yeah,
said, well, that doesn't matter because they shot 50%.
No, I said that doesn't matter because Ant wasn't making his threes either. It's not like they were getting that boost elsewhere. Like it's not like the guard rotation was helping their offense either. So why not solve the defensive problem? Because you were dying on that end as well, anyways. And
I
it's
think
not like
Tatum
they're
is the better
playing.
solution there.
Sure, Tatum too.
if
But
you
my
wanna call
point
defense.
is that's fine. But my point is, even if Tatum's 1, I'd put Bam at B, and like Anthony Edwards is way fucking down here, and Kerr is still running these 3 guard lineups into the ground that made no sense to me in that game.
I just think Bam and another big guy is a weird offensive fit.
Not when Bam is shooting as well as he is from 3 is my only point. And I'd rather have the defense anyways, because it's not like they're playing this swing style offense anyways. They're just playing fucking isolation ball with Steph and LeBron anyways. So it doesn't fucking matter.
They had
It's not
some
like
good
they're
possessions yesterday for sure. Like
They
I
had
thought
some
the ball was
alright.
popping around.
I guess at like the end of the game when they finally got their shit together, but when they were drowning, they were just playing isolation ball anyway. So at that point, if you're just and
So they were at their best when the ball was moving.
PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the PrizePicks community today. With PrizePicks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more in as little as 60 seconds. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and you're locked in. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Sam and I use PrizePicks all throughout the NBA playoffs as the Celtics were making their run. If you guys tuned into the pregame show, you saw it. We like Drew Holiday blocks. We always picked Jayson Tatum to get a dunk. That was a lock for us. And we always picked less on the opposing stars' points. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Whatever. I think Bam would have been better than Anthony Edwards. I don't. We're just gonna keep going back and forth because you're just gonna keep disagreeing, and I don't. That's it. I just disagree. I think Bam would have been better.
Sure. I just feel like it's a weird fit. We'll move on. But like Tatum,
Brother,
Tatum solves that. Like Tatum has that same defense to reel it all back in. Like he has a very similar defensive versatility to Bam, and he's a good offensive player. He's somebody you can put at the 4 and feel like he is going to be someone who, if you give him the ball, he should be able to make the 3. I know he hasn't shot well, but he should be able to. It's typically part of his game, and he can create a little bit. He can play out of the post if you have to. He's somebody who in the prelims did a good job cutting without the basketball. Like, he does okay. He's a weird fit on the perimeter as an off-the-ball guy, but so is Bam. So I don't think you're limiting yourself by playing Tatum over Bam. It feels like you're getting more versatility on offense, the same defensive versatility, maybe lacking a bit if you get switched on to Jokic. But besides that, you should play him.
I wasn't arguing Tatum versus Bam. I think they both should have played over Anthony Edwards and the stupid small lineups they were rolling out there. I just think they needed more length. I think they needed more connectiveness on offense rather than a isolation first guy that Anthony Edwards is. And I think they needed better rebounding, and they didn't have any of that when they were rolling out these guard lineups. And the shooting is not where I would even point to, because Tatum has just objectively been bad shooting the ball for months now. He hasn't made a 3 in the Olympics so far. Bam's been a better shooter, floor spacer than he has. Anthony Edwards been on fire from 3 at the Olympics, but Ant's 3s weren't going down off the catch yesterday. If you're looking up the stats, Bam shot 33% from 3 in the Olympics.
I'm not looking up for the whole Olympics. He's been good. No, he had that one game where he wasn't missing from the corner. He's been okay.
But
I'm just looking at yesterday's box score because I want to have it for reference.
Yeah, the point is, I just think it was dumb not to try out different things. It was dumb to beat your head into the wall and run the same thing when it clearly wasn't working. You're getting killed on defense. You're not rotating. You're not closing out enough. The defensive strategies were bad. I don't think the rotations were good. I think you got to try something out in that spot, especially when you're floundering as much as you were.
Anthony Edwards played 13 minutes. Bam played 10 minutes.
I don't know how this turned into you're fighting me about Bam. Fine, I'll take it out. Never mind about Bam. I don't give a fuck. I just think the rotations were bad and playing 3 guards was bad. And Bam was another big on the bench who was a lengthy defender who I think could have helped on that end. That was the only point I was making.
Your point stands is both the backup bigs played like no time, but they did not stray away from the starting lineup very often.
Sure. I just don't think the 3 guard lineups are good. I think they're stupid. That's all I wanted to say. I thought the 3 guard lineup sucked, and you should have played more length and defense for the rebounding purposes and defensive purposes. That's it.
Sure.
Okay. Next thing we got, Adam Himmelsbach, who has been over in Paris for the Olympics, spoke with Mr. President of Basketball Operations, Brad Stevens, for a little one-on-one. We won't read through the entire thing. I'll pick out some of the best bits. If you'd like to read the whole article, go check it out on thebostonglobe.com. He talked about Tatum. He talked about what it's like seeing his guys on Team USA. He talked about, the time of year, stuff like that, title experience, Steve Kerr, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll read some of the highlights. Jayson Tatum being one of the obvious ones. He said, "It's hard not to play. I'm guessing it's exponentially harder when you're one of the best players in the world. But when we've talked, he's been all about the team. This is such a unique opportunity to win a gold medal in the Olympics. He's always ready. The championship game against France on Saturday will be a great road environment, and he shines in those situations." About having his guys on the team, he said, "I think it's just anytime the guys get a chance to participate, it's an honor." And he thought of, "Hey, last season was fun, gets replaced quickly by the challenge in front of them, et cetera, et cetera." I'm checking to see if there's anything about the upcoming season. He said, Adam asked if we can go back to the time between winning and the parade when you were still savoring it, what stuck with you, what you feel. Brad said, "I thought it was great winning. I thought we played great that night. I never feel good about a game, but when Payton shot one at halftime, I was like, holy blank." Brad didn't swear, but you can imagine that was going through his head. I've never seen our suite like that. I've never seen the garden like that. And I was like, we're going to be tough to beat tonight. I don't know if we're going to win tonight, but we're going to be tough to beat tonight. So that was great. Getting the chance to be in the locker room and the after party was a blast. And at the party after was a blast. I think you take great joy in the people that you're with in those moments. You probably appreciate it more than ever. But Jayson and Jalen and Al, to get that moment for all our guys to get it, but specifically the guys who have been there the longest and been through great runs with great teams. So basically just saying this was sick. And he talked about the parade. It was the best moment. Jayson said it was the best experience of his life. Talking about KP a little bit, saying he was going to have surgery regardless. So he was like, might as well. But yeah, pretty cool to hear some of the tidbits from Mr. Stevens after the title.
Yeah, I mean, Brad Stevens has really been the guy. He's been here for the long haul, the entire rebuild. He was brought in to lead the charge from the head coaching spot and then eventually moved into the front office and has thrived in both roles. I know people were critical with the end results of his coaching tenure where 2020 they don't make the finals, 2017 they lose in the conference finals, 2018 they come up short, and then 2019 being a disaster. There was some speculation that he really wasn't the greatest fit, especially with the 2021 edition of the Celtics being exactly 500 and ending in the first, like losing the first round to the Nets, ending in a disappointing way. Like you could feel that maybe it was time for them to move on, but the way that they made the shift into a new era of one, the Brad Stevens role, and two, head coaching has really gone well. He has made tremendous decisions as the front office executive. He's put, even though Udoka didn't end well, like the tenure didn't end well, he's put good minds at the end of the bench to lead the way for the Celtics. They played well under Udoka. They've done a good job under Joe Mazzulla. He's stuck by Joe Mazzulla after Joe, had a lot of critics in 2023 when they went bouncing out against Miami. He has just been incredible ever since he joined the Celtics. It's very therapeutic or like it's a feel-good story, I suppose, to hear Brad Stevens just discuss what it means after such a long road to getting here.
Yeah, and he's talked about Joe as well, like you mentioned, like just saying how he didn't deserve the criticism he got the year before and how humble he's been since the finals in spite of the fact that he sort of overcame all the shit that was talked about him for the past however many months. So it's just nice to hear the way the Celtics have handled it, the way everything has gone down. And shout out to Brad Stevens. It's been fun. Next thing, circling back to Team USA for a bit. Shout out Brad Stevens. Grant Hill talked about Jaylen Brown and whether or not he could potentially be on the 2028 Olympics team. He's doing a sit down with Rachel Nichols. And he said, "I'm confident he and I will sit down at some point and talk about it and get to some level of understanding. He'll be a candidate if he wants in 28. And he said, "One thing I've learned, you can't take anything personal in this role. And so I haven't personalized anything. My goal, my objective is to win. As soon as that, hopefully that happens, we pivot and start looking towards the future." This came around the same time that Jaylen Brown decided to unfollow Team USA Basketball on Twitter.
Did he refollow them though?
I have no idea. I don't know if he refollowed.
There was a lot of Celtics following, unfollowing coming up in the feed the other day. So I think that was one of them.
If I'm Jaylen, I'm not playing for this guy.
Yeah, no, if I'm Jaylen, Grant Hill, they need to stop putting a microphone in front of him. He needs to stop talking about this because this is like almost condescending in the way, like, yeah, like we'll let him play next time. Haha, like not personal. Like, all right, dude, just be like, oh yeah, like it was a tough decision. Ultimately we went with fit or whatever. Like the way that this is just, it comes off as condescending. I don't know if you feel the same way. I do. And if I'm Jaylen, like I'm looking at options. seeing where I can get citizenship. Maybe I join the Feel Good South End team.
I don't know how it works, but I don't think he's allowed to because he's already represented the U.S. on the international stage. Sorry.
I'm trying to think.
So I don't think he'd be allowed to switch.
Didn't Clay play for Team USA? Then he was on the Bahamas.
He practiced with the Bahamas. He's not.
He didn't play in the qualifiers.
I don't think so. I also don't think Clay was on Team USA.
I think he might have been there in the middle, like in 2016. Must have been.
Let me look. Let's see. Oh yeah, he won with the Olympics in 2016. Let's see. Bahamas. Can Klay Thompson play for Bahamas national team? I don't think you can. Once you've already represented something, because I remember
that would make sense.
Let's see.
Because Embiid technically has not represented France or Cameroon in the Olympics.
Excuse me. Let's see. Another important topic when it comes to the Bahamian basketball future is Klay Thompson's eligibility. Even though the former Golden State Warriors sharpshooter joined the Bahamas training camp ahead of their trip to Valencia, he wasn't on the plane to Spain. As Shams reported, Thompson needed an official release from USA Basketball and approval from FIBA to play in the Olympic qualifiers, which he didn't get. Rose admitted getting Thompson on board would remain rather complicated. Klay loves Bahamas. If you watch the championship runs, he gets on the podium with the Bahamian flag. His dad, Michael Thomas, was the number one pick out of the Bahamas. He came for training camp because he wanted to be around the team. He does a lot for the team, blah, blah, blah. Basically, you need permission. Like, you need to be released from Team USA in a sense.
Team USA had any balls, they would release him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that'd work.
We could take the beef to an all-new level. Grant Hill being like, go ahead, go play for whoever you want. We'll still beat you. You don't
What
think
would
that
be
would put butts in
the
seats?
most? What would be the most fun team for him to play for? I think it'd be France.
I think Canada would be a good one. Just because they have the depth to kind of compete, like you can see them matching up.
I see that.
France,
I think France is
being the
better
gold
because
medal
I think he would be the top scorer on France. I don't think he'd be like the ball in his hands guy in Canada because of Shea. And I think you get to France, you have a good interior presence, you have good role players. Throw him on Serbia. Fuck it. Just go have him go play with Jokic.
That would be fire.
I don't know. I don't think.
Imagine if all the guys that felt like they got slighted just went and joined Jokic.
Yeah, I don't think they'd release him. You see KD on Twitter going ham.
I love KD. KD's one of my favorite players just because he doesn't like play the game. He just is himself.
He's sick.
Chirping the guy on Twitter, being like, "What did the guy say?" What did he say? He was
somebody
like
was like,
like
shout out to Jokic, took the best USA team constructed to the wire to wire. You know, you should be proud, whatever. And KD replies, "Where are you from?"
The easy answer to that is
American
Denver.
Guy. Yeah, he's just Denver. Then he just talks shit about a bunch of Nuggets fans, which is funny. Shout out KD, man. KD,
I love KD. He doesn't hold back.
KD's the best. Last piece of Celtics news: Shams Charania released NBA's Christmas Day schedule for the year. The Celtics will be hosting a Christmas Day game. They get the 76ers in Boston on Christmas in what will likely be the primetime game or one of them. The other game,
5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's probably, I think it's the second to last game. I bet he tweeted them in order. Spurs at Knicks, Timberwolves at Mavs, Sixers at Warriors, Lakers at, what did I say?
Sixers, Celtics.
Celtics, Lakers at Warriors, Nuggets at Suns. So yeah, it'll probably be Sixers, Celtics at the 5, Lakers, Warriors in the 8, and then Nuggets, Suns at 10:30 or something like that.
I feel like Nuggets, Suns is kind of weird.
Why?
It's a random one. Because there's no like storyline there. Like Spurs at Knicks, there's no story, but the Knicks always play the noon game. And
Wemby had like a triple double at MSG last year. Like he had like a huge game.
Brunson had like a 60-piece.
60.
Okay. Well, I guess you can take that. Timberwolves Mavs was Western Conference Finals. Like I get that. Sixers Celtics a rivalry. Lakers Warriors, you get LeBron and Steph. I feel like if you flip Nuggets and Timberwolves, like Mavs and Nuggets, it's more fun. Like Timberwolves being the team to beat Denver at home in Game 7 makes it pretty fun. And then Mavs Suns is a huge rivalry. The Suns fans hate Luka. So
yeah, even if you flip it the other way and do Timberwolves Nuggets, and do
Timberwolves Suns.
Timberwolves Suns and then Mavs Nuggets, and you get Luka and Jokic and then Timberwolves who swept the Suns last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and there's the Ant KD wrinkle where they have great admiration for each other.
I mean, Nuggets Suns will still be fun. I mean, even now you'll get KD and D-Book both on Team USA versus Serbia after they just bounced them from the Olympics. Like, if you really want to pull it back to that.
Sure.
I think they just wanted the star power. Who's the best team that didn't get a Christmas Day game that you think should have gotten a Christmas game?
Okay, let me actually think for a second. Milwaukee, instant knee-jerk.
My answer. The Thunder.
Oh, the Thunder. Yeah, that's brutal. The Lakers and Warriors just getting free games because
They're all until they retire.
stars.
They're gonna. The
Well,
Wemby
no, the
one's
Lakers will
surprising.
just always have a fucking game.
Well, yeah, because it's the biggest, or like the second, like one of the biggest organizations in sports, of course.
Fucking trash organization.
Yeah,
They
I think
lucked into so much success. All right.
the Thunder are the only one that I think probably deserved one that didn't get one.
You don't think Milwaukee?
Yeah, Milwaukee and OKC are probably the first two out. But what are you gonna do?
Like
At least you
Phoenix
know the Thunder will be
doesn't.
healthy. Yeah, but the whole point of a Christmas game is the stars, and they got stars, and that's what Christmas Day is about, ratings. It's the end of the day. So, unfortunately,
They have
that's
to
how
compete
it's
with the
gonna play
NFL
out.
now. Fucking Goodell's just saying, you know what, we don't care anymore. And they're
Yeah.
gonna put games on Christmas, which is
They got
fucking
a small
stupid.
taste of it that one Sunday Christmas, and they're like, you know what? This ain't half bad.
You know what's
Let them
nice
keep
is
going.
these games being announced means the schedule is coming soon. Probably next week or
Get
the
it.
week after, we're gonna find out all the games.
We'll get it soon.
As Larry Bird said, 41 at home, 41 on the road.
There you go.
Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. I remember my dad taking me to Fenway Park as a kid, getting to watch David Ortiz and Dustin Pedroia sitting in the Green Monster and taking in all there is to love about the iconic ballpark. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Taking a look at my Game Time app right now, I see plenty of great deals to watch my favorite sports teams and my favorite tickets to Noah Khan. You guys know that's my favorite artist. I even used it while in Las Vegas for Summer League to get tickets to a women's basketball game. Some of my favorite features in the Game Time app include letting me see what the price is going to be with fees included. It makes so much easier to take a look and see what the actual price I'm going to pay is. Also, you get to see exactly where you are sitting. It's a great way to know exactly the experience you're going to get. I also love the fact that you can get great last-minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, or anything else. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off.
All right, let's go to the email now. Reminder, as always, you guys can send us an email at hbtcpod@gmail.com. Make sure to send one through. Say what's up. From RJ. More on Brissy. Morning, folks. Listening to y'all and Bobby this morning was fun. Made it feel less Augusty. Excuse me. The discussion of Brissett was great to hear. And the more I thought on it, I think the biggest factor for the Celtics reach out to him is tied to Jordan Walsh's improvement in training camp. If Walsh shows development, not talking about making a jump from G League to Hauser Pritchard minutes, in his defensive three-point shooting, the door on Brissy might close altogether. I hope he finds a landing spot. Be well, RJ, who was also an October birthday. There you go. I think the only way Brissy comes back is if they want the vibes, and I just don't think that they'd want to spend the money on that. We left off talking about O'Shea Brissett, Sam. I said I don't think they bring him back unless it's just for the vibes, and I don't think they'll want to spend the money on the vibes, unfortunately. So I think that's where the Brissy conversation starts and ends. Second and final email from RJ. Important questions for the coming season. Hey guys, serious question time. Who do you think will get booed more in the Garden this year? Kyrie, Embiid, or Steve Kerr? Is Steve Kerr losing his mind, or does someone have pictures of him with a sofa sectional? Be well, RJ. I didn't even think about that. Steve Kerr probably will get booed when he comes to the Garden. But I wonder if Celtics fans will care enough for long enough to boo Steve Kerr. And Sam is frozen again, so I will reframe the question when he makes it back. But I was about to ask you if you think Steve Kerr will get booed at the Garden next year.
What'd you say?
I said I was about to ask you if you thought Steve Kerr will get booed at the Garden next year because of this.
Okay.
Oh dear.
When we were talking about Kerr. I feel like it's a guarantee he's going to get extremely loud boos like when they're introducing stuff.
Louder than Kyrie or Embiid?
I don't think Embiid just gets like, I don't know. He hasn't done
Embiid gets
anything against
booed.
the Celtics. Like,
But he
it's
still
like
gets booed. They still hate him.
he gets booed, but like he doesn't get like special boos.
So yes, louder than Embiid, not louder than Kyrie. Fair enough. All right. I don't know what you heard or what I edited out, but we're done with the emails. Thank you, RJ. Let's move on to the NBA part of the show. Sam's internet is back. That was a mess because I was trying to pause so I wouldn't have to edit, but then it happened a lot of times, so I might have to edit anyways. We'll see.
Apologize. It's been a while.
It's all right.
We were on a hot streak. I feel like I just like had a 30-game win streak get broken.
It cooked you. It said no more good internet for you, buddy.
There will be
Anyways.
one day where I take this router thing and like hit it with a baseball bat. Like I'll throw it up and hit it.
I'm not even going to tell you to get new internet anymore because it's pointless because I've told you for a year now and you still haven't gotten new internet.
It's just like not worth it right now.
Why?
Because this happens like one time. Well, I don't want to say one time, for like one period, and then it fucks off for like forever.
All right. Let's talk about NBA basketball. Let's go to the NBA section. We'll start with the Olympics. So I guess it's technically FIBA basketball, but Canada was eliminated in the quarterfinals. Didn't even make it to the semis. Then France went on to eliminate Germany, Dennis Schroeder, Daniel Theis, and Franz Wagner in the semifinals. Serbia took down Canada. Or excuse me, no. Who took down Canada? France took down Canada. Serbia took down Australia in the quarterfinals in a huge comeback overtime win. And then they lost to Team USA in the semifinals. Obviously, Canada being out is the biggest surprise, but it's been a good Olympics so far. Been a fun run.
It has been. I actually started watching some of the games. A lot of good games. Seriously. Like the Australia-Serbia game, overtime. Exciting. Good buckets. Patty Mills had a big shot to even force overtime. The French versus Germany game was a good one too. It was kind of tight. They kind of blew it, kind of didn't blow it. Whatever. Canada, there were a lot of fake comebacks too. Like I think Canada came all the way back and then lost and couldn't finish it off. You want to talk about disappointing teams, look no further than Canada. Canada was supposed to be like the big competitor for the US in this Olympics, and they aren't even going to medal. Like that's pretty brutal. They have a top 10 player in the NBA in Shea. They have Murray, who's a borderline all-star. They have several guys, RJ Barrett, Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell, Dylan Brooks, guys that have been around the NBA for a while now and are proven to be good role players. Like they should have fared better than they did. I'd imagine it has something to do with team chemistry and fit, and also Wemby. Wemby was a big pain for them when they had to play against France. Jamal Murray and Shea were both afraid to go in the paint against him, and it made it a lot easier for France to defend those guys. But overall, very disappointing from Canada. I would be devastated if I cared about basketball and I was from Canada.
Yeah, Jamal Murray was really bad. Jamal Murray just couldn't find his rhythm off the bench at all. It's tough out for Canada. Now you got a Serbia, Germany, bronze medal game, which actually should be a really good game. That's two really good teams. And then France versus the US. A lot of NBA players left. Like it's fun to see how many stars like that. I almost wish Greece and Slovenia were in as well for Giannis and Luka.
I mean, Giannis was in. Slovenia didn't even.
I know Giannis was in, and Giannis eliminated Luka. But seeing both those guys on the stage would have been cool as well to see if they were in the groups and stuff. But it's been a good Olympics.
Bonus, despite the lost tweets about Luka.
Yeah, putting up a 30-point triple-double in FIBA is even better. Next thing, Jonathan Kuminga apparently wants a max contract.
Celtics should have traded for him last year in the trade exception or whatever. So they can make the money work.
Friend of the pod, Jake Fisher, Yahoo Sports, said Jonathan Kuminga is entering the final year of his rookie deal, where the word around the league from various sources that Kuminga and his representation are looking for a full max extension, which, as we just talked about with Brandon Ingram, Jamal Murray, and whoever, like if you're not an absolute all-star, Scotty Barnes type of guy for Toronto, Lauri Markkanen for Utah now, Trae Young for Atlanta back in the day, because look what happened to Trae Young in Atlanta since then. It's really hard to get that number. And for what it's worth, I don't think either of the two players you mentioned deserved the max extensions they got either. But I guess those two specific teams didn't really have a choice, and you kind of do if you're Golden State. But if I'm Golden State, and maybe this is a hot take, I give Kuminga what he wants.
Yeah, I think Golden State's in a really weird spot, right? Golden State is entering, well, they're already there because Klay's gone. They're entering like the crossroads of Steph Curry, Draymond, Klay on the way out, Pods, Kuminga, the rest of their team. They have to move forward and decide what they want to do with that. Kuminga is somebody who came to them in the draft. He was a lottery pick. He was in the same draft as Wiseman, I believe, or he was in the Moody draft. I apologize. He was one of their lottery picks. He was meant to be somebody that they brought in to be the future foundation of the team. He has had a very rocky start to his NBA career. He has shown flashes of promise, and as he has gotten more opportunity, he has done better. However, he has fallen victim to the Jayson Tatum circumstance with Steve Kerr, where Kerr straight up didn't play him in the playoffs in 2023. He wasn't playing in the Lakers series. It caused a great deal of tension. There were rumors that Kuminga was going to request a trade. Like, his time there has been really bumpy, rocky. The relationship is weird. If they pay him, I'd imagine it'll smooth it over a little bit. But the Kerr layer of this is all still going to be there, at least for the time being. I don't know how much longer he's going to stay past Steph. I'm sure he doesn't want to go through a rebuild. It may be a Doc Rivers Celtics situation where it's like, well, yeah, I might still coach, but I don't really feel like trying to bring up a new team. I already had plenty of success.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are getting interesting in Golden State real quick.
I mean, he was rumored to be traded as late as the deadline.
Who, Kuminga?
Yeah, there were rumblings.
No, I don't think he was going to get traded. I don't think he was ever going to get traded this deadline. I think it was all of the, like, way before the deadline thing of sort of bullying Steve Kerr into playing him. And once that happened, I mean, you saw it pretty clear that, I mean, he deserves to be in the rotation. It was bad that he wasn't in anyways, which, shocker, another Steve Kerr like hit piece. If I'm the Warriors, I give Kuminga what he wants. I even if it's a max, as much as that's definitely an overpay right now, I think Kuminga is a really good player. I think if the 3-point shot continues to develop, he'll be an even better player. And I think at the end of the day, like, him and Pods are your future. And even if you have to end up trading him, even if it ends up being a bad contract, you still kind of got to just bite the bullet.
He's also only 20
around. Exactly. He'll
be 22
young.
next year, but he's very
super young. Good player, ton of potential. Was better than I think a lot of people realized this past season. Like, he averaged, I think, like 16 points a game for sure. Whereas, yeah, he averaged 16.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 2.2 assists on 53-32 splits. Like, he's a really good player, and he's going to continue to be a really good player. And he did all that in 26 minutes a night. Like, I think he could average 20 for the next year. Like, he's really, really good.
Kuminga may be dangerous or in danger of falling into the good stats, bad team category, where if he gets paid and he's going to show that he can put up numbers, but the team might not be good. Like, it feels like they're gravitating towards that sort of situation. They have avenues out. Pods is a big part of that. I know you've said to me in the past that you're not convinced Pods is going to take like continuous steps forward. He may just be like solid.
I think Pods is fine. I think his ceiling is like a Derek White type guy, and that's a damn good ceiling to be at. But I think people are falling into the Austin Reeves trap with Pods. Austin Reeves is a great player, not a top 30 player in the NBA.
It's not a video game where these guys just get better every time they go up a year in age.
And I like Pods a lot, but I'm just curious to see what the ceiling is for him. Next thing, we mentioned it briefly. Jazz officially signed Lauri Markkanen into a contract extension after the whole summer of rumors, whatever. 5 years, $238 million, almost $50 million a year for Lauri Markkanen. Shams tweeted this makes him ineligible to be traded for the entire 24-25 season, so he'll be in Utah.
I thought that wasn't true. I thought that was true every day that wasn't the trade deadline.
I just pulled on Tuesday. Athletic Shams Charania, Tony Jones, and anything I said, reported Markkanen was, quote, expected to agree to a massive long-term extension, making him ineligible to be traded for the entire 24-25 season. I can look it up because maybe that was like before it was officially signed. But the point is, he's going to be in Utah. They re-signed him.
The
player signs an extension. Player who signs an extension cannot be traded for 6 months. If he signed on August 6th, Markkanen can only be moved on the day of the trade deadline. I don't know when he officially signed it. Lauri Markkanen, let me Google it.
Time to investigate.
So that means the deadline is the 6th. He signed it on, let's see, the 7th. No,
Okay.
no trade. No
Probably
trade
did that
for
on
Mr.
purpose
Lauri.
then. Probably does
Yep.
not want to be moved.
No trade for Markkanen.
So this was a big will they, won't they, wasn't it? Do we think this was another Shams crooked reporting? So the sports books take bets on what his next team will be if it's not the Jazz, and then, well, he's just going to be on the Jazz.
Do those bets get refunded?
I think they may just like be a very, very long-term bet now. Like he's on this contract with the Jazz, but if he eventually moves on, you may still have that.
You just lose your money. You just lose your money.
Essentially, you're putting it in like one of those savings accounts that you can't trust till you're 65 or can't touch till you're 65.
You're not getting that money back. You're going to forget about it.
You're putting your money in IRA.
I think it's a bad contract. That's too much money for Lauri Markkanen.
I mean, welcome to the NBA. Small market team gives big contract to guy that's kind of a star, but probably isn't enough to make you successful.
Yeah, you had to. And I think Lauri's a damn good player. That's a lot of money. This is way too much money for Lauri Markkanen.
They got to do something about all this. It's getting out of control.
Lauri Markkanen,
it truly is, but there is nothing they can do.
Lauri Markkanen's like a Derek White level player. Like he's
all they got.
He's a fringe all-star, and obviously he averaged more points than Derek White. Was more, super efficient, more rebounds, whatever. But like, he's not a great defender. He's a fine defender. He's probably not the lead on your team. He's probably best suited as like a third option on a title team, maybe a second option if you want to push it a little bit. But like I think the best possible landing spot for Lauri Markkanen, if we were ignoring like restrictions or whatever, like I think the Heat or the Bucks, like you put them on one of those teams and they're a title contender. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you need an established star, a good defensive infrastructure, and then you've got this elite shooter who can help on both ends a little bit. I think that's the best spot for him. Like you mentioned, Jazz kind of had to do this or else they lose him for nothing, and so it's fine. But what is this? What does this average out to? What's 238 divided by 5? Let's see, 238 by 5. He's making on average 47.6 million per year. By the end of it, he's making 50 plus mil. That is too much money for Lauri Markkanen, who, by the way, is not 23. He's not 24. He's already 27 years old. Like a lot of money for Lauri Markkanen.
I mean, we just had a conversation whether or not we think a Kuminga extension is worth doing. This is that, but if the guy is not 21.
Yeah, Markkanen is better than Kuminga, significantly so, but it is
when you scale it, especially like when you look at Kuminga and you're like, this guy has taken a step forward every year, whereas Markkanen is past the part of his career where it feels like he's going to take any steps forward. That's kind of like where you can weigh and withdraw it. And also, Golden State, it feels like they have more leverage when it comes to bringing in talent than a place like you.
That is definitely true. I'd still pay Markkanen more than I'd pay Kuminga, but 50 mil is a lot of money for Markkanen. Is all I'm saying. That's
and then
but Jesus,
if you're Golden State, it feels like if you pay Kuminga, the upside is better too, because if you were to move off of him right now, you're probably not going to get the greatest value in return. You may get something of like value, but you're not getting like 5 firsts. Like if you move off Markkanen, you probably get a couple firsts. Like if you're Utah, you're probably able to get team like better or worse, and by how much. Bridges versus Markkanen. Like if you're thinking about like Mikal Bridges versus Markkanen, I'm not saying that they're at the same level. Markkanen's been an all-star, Bridges hasn't, and you can move with that the way you would like, but I think point stands of like you feel like Markkanen could be a Derek White level player. It feels like the Knicks brought in Bridges to be a Derek White level player, maybe a little bit better because he has experience as a first option with Brooklyn. But it feels like those two are in the same tier at the very least.
I think Bridges, I don't want to say like significantly better, but I think he's much like a better player than Markkanen.
Different tier altogether.
It's close to it, yeah. Just
Okay.
because of the defense. I mean, he's second place in defensive player of the year voting a couple years ago. Like you get a complete.
I'm not
two-way
trying
player
to
with
tear him
with
down.
fingers.
I'm just
I know.
curious.
I think I'd rather pay. Like I'd pay if I'm paying them for like it just a general contending team. I'm probably giving Markkanen like, you know what? I guess maybe they are the same. I'd probably give them both around like 30. I'd probably go like 30 mil and then 35 mil for Bridges. So I guess they are close to the same tier. I just think
Right.
the defense makes a big difference.
It does. But like all right, so like we'll take that information, we'll run with it, right? When you think about trade value, to bring it back to what I was trying to drive it towards,
I
you're
think
going to get a better haul for Markkanen if you're Utah than you would if you have Kuminga. So you're better off
definitely
paying for Markkanen right now than Kuminga.
Agree.
Being like, well, we're not going to pay you. We'll trade you if you are going to be married to that idea of making money and somebody else can deal with this.
But I think
Golden
Markkanen
State's
wants
not
to
in
be in
position
Utah.
just yet.
Like I think Markkanen wants to stay in Utah because he likes the people.
Sure.
He likes his role.
And he does. That's why he waited to sign the contract so they couldn't trade him
Probably,
this
yeah.
year. Like that's all makes sense. But when you look at it from a Jazz perspective, like you can still move that guy for value.
Yes.
When it is time.
For sure. All right. Last NBA thing we got for the rat list. Jalen Brunson was officially named team captain of the New York Knicks. He is I have the stat here. 1 second. Let me look. 36th captain in franchise history. He said, I was honored. For me, it doesn't really change anything about what I go back doing every single day. Go and work hard, do everything else. But the fact that I can wear the title, it means a lot. Just a cool thing. And of anybody around the league, probably one of the guys who deserves it. Very clearly the face of the franchise. Really good player. Just kind of a cool thing that happened from Jalen Brunson.
I miss when the Celtics used to do this. It was so cool. I liked when they had captains. They haven't done it since Rondo. Rondo was the last one. There was talk of them doing co-captains a couple years ago before the first or the only Udoka season, but that fell out of place before everything got up and running. It always added a little bit of extra juice for me before games when a player would get introduced as being the captain. I think it's cool. I think it's something that every team should have. I just think it's kind of important. And I'm sure there are internal captains that aren't like made public, and there are leaders within all locker rooms that certain guys look up to, even on teams like Washington, where it's like, this guy is a vet. He's been around for a while. The young guys look up to him. With the Celtics, now it would probably be Tatum and Brown. It's very cool that Brunson is the Knicks captain. He's somebody who embodies like all the things that those fans want to see. The whole fan base is behind him. He became one of the media darlings last year. Like, absolutely a good fit for a captain. Good work ethic, a grinder. He plays hard. He plays through pain. He's somebody you want the rest of your team to try and resemble and model their game after.
Yeah. Brunson deserves it. Happy for him. Outside of that, cool. I have nothing else. Oh, this is what I was saying. I was like, I had something else I wanted to go to show you. Have you seen OG Anunoby's reaction to Jalen Brunson being named captain of the New York Knicks? No,
I have not seen it.
Is that a no? Okay.
Sorry,
I was like, all right. So the Knicks
I'll say
together,
this: the Knicks team is too much on social media. They're always tweeting. They always got something to say.
I like it. I love Josh Hart. Josh Hart.
Well, that's why I don't like it, because people like you are getting too excited about them. Even though Josh Hart did just have.
You're just a sad human. You just need to enjoy life.
Human.
Like you just gotta like be happy. Yeah, you get checked out, brother. But they put together this whole video, right, of like everyone talking. We're not gonna watch the whole video, but like everyone saying like congratulations, whatever. And they get here, and then it's just time to.
It's dope.
Congrats, Jalen. Well deserved.
What's up, Jalen?
That was entire. Everyone was like, "Congratulations! Like we appreciate you off the court."
OG's got his forehead on the screen.
OG's forehead, giving the congrats. All right. Anyways, let's go to the rat list, Sam. What do you got for me?
Rat list is vacation. So I went on vacation for quite some time. Essentially went to Vegas, went to Greece back to back. I haven't been home very much. I've been out of my routine within the basketball realm. Haven't been playing as regularly. Getting back into the swing of things, getting my legs back underneath me. I feel okay. I've done a good job at like keeping my endurance. I mean, Jack can tell you, like when we were in Vegas, I was going to the hotel gym every day. I was making myself run and stuff. Like I was not fucking around with it, but I have not been able to keep up the mechanics in basketball. I haven't been playing very well. I play 2 or 3 times a week, usually when I'm within rhythm. I just started getting back into it. Yesterday, I was asked to fill in on a friend's 3-on-3 league team. And let me tell you, I was a fucking cone out there, man. And I usually play pretty good defense. Like Jack can tell you, like when we were playing men's league, like I would try and pick up like the ball handler and I would do a pretty decent job. Like I wasn't getting cooked. Like I was okay. Yesterday, I must have, it was 3-on-3. So the scoring was always going to be inflated. Keep that in mind. But we lost by 50. These guys didn't miss in defense. Like very good group of players.
Sure.
Tyler Kolek, who was drafted by the Knicks, his father was playing against us. I was guarding him. Man's like 60. He was cooking me. I got nothing for him. You know how like when somebody is really good at basketball, no matter how old they are, they're going to be able to shoot, and they don't lose that skill where they don't waste any movement or any steps. He was shooting from like his hip, and I was not able to react to guard it. I was doing okay. Like I was staying in front of him. Like I was talking to my teammates after. My buddy Worth was telling me, he's like, no, you were doing fine. None of them were missing. This one guy must have had 50 points. It was not the guy I was covering. He did not miss his, like more than 3 threes. It was unbelievable. But it was really fun to play with people that were so good.
How do you know he was Kolek's dad?
Because
did you recognize him?
Well, no, he was like talking to us.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I've seen them.
Tyler Kolek's dad played at UMass Dartmouth and was Little East Conference Player of the Year 2 times. So
yeah, no joke.
Cooked. See you later. He's also a retired police officer. What do I got? Rat list my sleep. I can't sleep. It sucks. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go lie down and do nothing after this, and then I'm going into Boston to hang out. I'm so dead tired. I got in bed at like last night was bad. I got in bed at like 2 last night, so it was partially my own fault. I still didn't fall asleep till like 5. So I'm actually on like 2.5 hours of sleep right now.
I don't know how you do that.
Do what?
Like how
I can't fall asleep. I don't fucking know either,
not
buddy.
So much that I don't know how you actually get up and function on like that little amount of sleep.
Right now, I'm not. I want to die. I'm exhausted. I like feel like I have like really bad indigestion. I could close my eyes and fall asleep right here, but I wanted to get this done because I have shit to do tonight, and so I'm here. But I'm dead tired. What else do I got? Ratless college football. I played my buddy last night and got smoked because I had like less than 2 seconds to pass the ball every time. It was pissing me off. Like the first game I lost fair and square. He ran this like I don't even know what the offense was. He had like 6 down linemen and it was like a tight spread. So he would either run like halfback or then bunch you out. And I was like, I can't fucking like you're just running the same offense. It was pissing me off and I couldn't figure it out.
Defense is impossible. Poor Frank was trying to play last night. I'll talk about it after.
Defense impossible. But then I'm playing I'm Tennessee. He's Texas Tech. We just did randoms in the SEC or whatever. We're just playing a game. And I'm sitting there with no time to pass the ball a single time. I'm like, I don't know what to change about what I'm doing because I either run with my halfback and get stuffed because your line is fucking me in the ass, or I try to pass the ball, you're running a zone, and then I'm blocking 5, you're rushing 4, and you're still getting through. I like, what do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do about it? Like, hello? Like, what am I expected to do on offense if that is what is happening to me every time? I was getting pissed off.
Poor Frank was in the party yesterday. He played like an absolute soldier. He's in 2 leagues with me. He played 2 weeks worth of games in both leagues. So he played 4 total games back to back. And by like probably the 3rd game, he was in there. He was like, I don't want to fucking play defense anymore, man. I'm fucking sick of this. Like,
well, do you know what the worst is? I played great defense at the end of the game with my buddy. I got him to 4th and like 13 or 3rd and 13, like a big down.
Did you get
huge? He runs around my entire line with his quarterback. I'm guarding the routes. I'm running with my little linebacker, following everybody. And the worst part was I had a guy in a flat over there, and he just abandoned it to run after somebody. What's the point of the flat? What the fuck? What is the point of the flat if you're just not gonna guard it? Pissing me off, man. Whatever. College football gets me so
College
mad.
football is an addiction.
I've mastered on like offline. Like I'm good offline. I can play Heisman. I'm fine against computer. It's when you start getting the bullshit online with your friends.
That roughing the kicker, I'll tell you what.
I turned it off in my league. You can turn it
You
off.
turned it off.
Yeah, I turned it off. I'm not doing it. I can't.
The low key should just be turned off in the game.
I turned it off. It's in the settings. You can turn it off. It's just not worth it. It's broken. It's not even like I don't know. My game keeps turning down. I don't even know why it's a thing. It's fully out of your control. That and the holding penalties, dude. Fucking Christ.
Holding will ruin your day.
Holdings are brutal.
Ratless people that are fucking getting up in the middle of movies. I went to the movies. I didn't talk about this, did I? No, I don't think I did because we were with Bobby. Went to the movies on Tuesday, and in 2 or 3 different times, people just getting up in the middle of the movie. Like, you didn't prepare for this? You didn't know that you were going to be sitting in this room for 2 hours? You go to the bathroom before you go in. Like, I get it. There are emergencies. I have been in the movies before where I had the biggest drink, and like by the end of the movie, I was like, when is this thing going to end? I need to get out. And I eventually would go. But just like 2 or 3 times, like fucking figure it out. You don't need to be getting up. You're ruining my experience. It's how could you?
See, I have a tiny bladder. I'm good at usually holding it through movies, but I'll just sit on the aisle so I can specifically like not cut in front of people. Like you got to prepare if you know you're going to have to piss in the middle of the movie. What else do I got? I feel like I had something, but I can't remember what it was. I just getting up early. I helped my friend move today, and it just decided to rain. Oh, I ordered a coffee this morning. This is a very small thing, but it pissed me off. Got a coffee. I get it extra milk, extra sugar because I'm a degenerate and
coffee.
Whatever. They give me no sugar in the coffee. It says on the label, French vanilla, extra milk, extra sugar, and they just forgot the sugar. Like
trying to do you a favor,
bro. They just didn't put it in. I'm not drinking that. It tastes like piss. I'm not drinking that.
Where'd you get it from,
sugar.
Dunkin'?
Yeah. What the fuck are we doing?
You got any local coffee
Dunkin'?
shops near you?
Nah, not really. There's one called a Beanery, but it doesn't have a drive-through, and it's like the inside is like I don't know how to describe it. It's like the inside. It's like a living room. They just like
you don't like
design. That? I just want to stay in my car. I don't want to get out.
Going into the coffee shop is my probably favorite time of the day. That isn't going to bed.
See, but you're going somewhere. Like you are getting up, going to the, like for the most part. I know you work from home sometimes too, but
usually I'll do it like after I go to the gym.
Sure, yeah, it's part of your routine. Like you'll go somewhere, you'll go there, and then either you'll go to the office or come home or whatever, and that's your thing. Like I'm solely going out to get coffee, so I just don't want to leave my car. I just want to get my shit and get.
I kind of get it. I do kind of get it, but like that could be like a fun part of your morning, especially like now that you're not swamped with like a bunch of work. Like you have a very manageable amount of work to do. Like you get out, like you look forward to it, like you start your day that way. I have a friend that goes around and tries different coffee shops, like all around.
I also just like Dunkin' coffee better. Like it's just better.
You seriously like
Dunkin' coffee's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Everybody I talk to doesn't like it.
Coffee's like water to me. It all tastes the same. Coffee's coffee.
No,
yeah.
Well, I'll say this: not Dunkin' coffee.
Well, sometimes I'll switch it up and I'll get Starbucks instead. But I don't leave my car.
Starbucks is all right, but Dunkin' coffee is like 75% water. It feels like.
No, I don't mind it. I just don't want to get in my car, man. I just stay in my car. There is another one on the other side of town called Aroma Joe's, but it's too far. I just want to go to the one.
Used to sponsor the news station.
There's the one there's a Dunkin' 2 minutes from my house. I just want to go there, get my shit, and get back.
Comments. Let me know what you think of the Dunkin' coffee. I'm curious.
Dunkin' coffee is not the best. You know, I'll retract my statement. Like I prefer Starbucks for the most part. I also don't feel like paying triple the price and having to click a tip button.
Now that's facts.
But it's just a convenience thing, man. There's like 5 Dunkins wherever I go. I can go to a Dunkin' like this, and I'm just good, and it's on my way home. So it's just easier.
Coffee, best part of my day.
That's all it is.
Also, if you make coffee at home, it's all right.
I do that. I have been doing that more.
The flavored
I have
thing.
K-Cups. I have the cups, yeah.
And you
I've been
make
using that more.
K cups make one cup, right?
Yeah.
So I have the one where you just have like the coffee filter, and I'll just make a pot, and then I'll just throw the rest in the fridge so I have iced coffee or cool coffee.
Yeah, that is good. Maybe I do that. I just make myself like I have a mug and I'll just drink coffee every once in a while if I don't want to leave the house. I've been cooking more lately too. I've been like trying to make myself food, which is good. I made what did I make the other day? Yeah, I made. Oh, you know what I did the other day? So we had like, my mom made like chicken or whatever for dinner. I took it, I shredded it up, and I put like hot sauce, like garlic powder, some shit in it, and I put some like flour in there and water as well. And like I put it into a ball, and then I put vegetable oil in a pan and I fried it. It's really fucking good. I put on like a piece of bread, like a little bun with some mayo, lettuce, and then I dipped it in some ranch. It's good shit. I've picture. See, I'll show you.
Yeah, you go ahead and pull up the picture.
I don't want to pull it up on the screen because it's on my phone, but I'll share the screen here. Okay. Here you go. This is what it looks like.
Oh, that does look pretty good.
You know what I'm saying? This is me frying them up right there. Don't worry about it. Look at that. Look at them in the oil. I had to throw the oil away. I will rattle my dog though, because I didn't want to pour the oil down the sink because it like clogs the drain and shit. But I poured some of it like outside in like the bush or whatever, and my mom was like, I don't know why, but last night I look over and Charlie, my dog, is just in the bush. I don't know what she's doing. I'm like, she's probably licking up fucking vegetable oil like an idiot. She's just in there trying to fucking lick the plant like a moron. Ugh. Anyways, I don't have anywhere else. You have anything else?
Nah, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
Wrap it up here, gang. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes,
Jack,
sir.
go ahead, and then
We appreciate it.
We'll do a fast
much.
break back and forth.
Yeah, leave a like, subscribe. I'm tired. Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, hit the bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. These full pods are coming at you Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Game recaps are up on the channel the morning after, and other videos in between 5 a.m. every morning, something new no matter what. Again, subscribe, leave a like, hit the bell. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All of our podcasts and game recaps will be there, audio only. And if you follow us, they'll go right into your feed. Nice and easy, no searching needed, right in front of your face. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Tell us your thoughts on the gold medal game. Tell us your thoughts on 15th roster spot, whatever. Send in your thoughts. hbtcpod@gmail. Socials are How About Them C's. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the podcast. Our streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at JackSmart NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.